concerned about in terms of stress is the left's reaction if Donald Trump gets elected, because they talk about how Donald Trump is a chaos candidate. The only chaos is the chaos that they create, whether it's get in their face and don't let him into a restaurant, or, he's this, he's that. That's what I worry about. I would like, if Donald Trump wins, and I'm hoping he wins, I would like that people just be calm and accept it.
January 6th would like a word.
That was Jessica Tarlov with a perfect shutdown of this ridiculous notion by Judge Jeanine Pirro that it's the left that can't handle the response to their candidate losing. And I love just the way that Jessica put that. Like, do you not remember January 6th? Do you not remember the riots? What a ridiculous thing to say, but clearly not enough ridiculous propaganda from the Fox propaganda outlet to satisfy Donald Trump, because he is going after Fox in an unhinged Truth Social post, melting down, throwing a tantrum, and attacking his favorite network. He just can't handle it because they stabbed him in the back in a moment that we're going to check out in just a second. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way. It really means the world to me. Now let's get into this next perfect takedown from Jessica.
I think that it is absolutely crazy to try to make this about not having a good sense of humor about Tony Hinchcliffe's joke. So the Bulwark just reported before we got, I love that. That's my favorite.
Bulwark. Go ahead.
Okay, Mark Caputo, who is a reputable reporter. It doesn't matter. Either way, this has been confirmed that he originally was going to do a joke where he called Kamala the C word, and the campaign saw that, and they asked him to take it out, which he complied with. And that indicates that they saw his joke list. Now, if this was a joke saying Puerto Rico is a floating island of garbage, and he ad-libbed it, that's fine. But maybe if you saw...
Comic? Are you a fan of roast? I remember you loving the Tom Brady roast.
I was about to say, I in fact thought Hinchcliffe was one of the funnier people at Tom Brady's roast. But a comedy show and a closing message political rally are very different. And you want to do no harm with 8 days left to go. And it's very clear that harm was done. And you know that because Republicans came out right away, flipping out about this. Rick Scott posting, Anthony D'Esposito, who is a congressman in Suffolk County, immediately said, absolutely not, says Puerto Ricans are great. He's Puerto Rican himself. Marco Rubio came out, he was trying to defend the larger message, but he said Puerto Ricans are good people. And the Kamala Harris campaign is reporting that they haven't seen something breakthrough like this comment has yet in the campaign. They're talking about Bad Bunny.
This is to cover up the fact that they're calling everybody Nazis.
No, well,
come on.
No, it's not. You want to talk about that because that makes us seem insane.
You did not even address that. The fact that your side is calling everybody Hitler and Nazis, and you're choosing to talk about a joke.
No,
you are better than that.
No, every show I say, I don't want to hear about Hitler unless we're talking about Hitler. This was not about 1930s Germany. But you did have Stephen Miller stand up there and say, America is for Americans only. That is the kind of rhetoric that does echo the 1930s.
Well,
and that's
you just
who's America for then, Jessica? Who should we be for? The rest of the world or us? America first or last?
It's not about first or last.
Yes.
It's about sending a xenophobic message out to the world. Go ahead and...
We heard this from AOC. We heard this from Kamala Harris. We are hearing it from Jessica. Last night was nothing more than a hate rally. And as much as Donald Trump's staff, as much as his Trump stooges want to say that comedian who made the disgusting comment that he did, no, those are just his thoughts. Those are just his feelings. We don't condone that language. Yes, you do. All we heard last night was racist and vile attacks on Americans who Donald Trump does not see as that. He sees them as the enemy from within. He only sees certain Americans, and we know what those people look like, as the real America. And that is why he continues to attack and try to divide, because it is the only thing that he can do. And we need to call that out. And that's exactly what happened on Harris Faulkner's show, and it has Donald Trump so upset. Let's take a look.
My reaction to that last reporter question, I mean, it was just a T-ball episode of can you compare Trump to Hitler?
Yeah, first off, Harris, and full disclosure, I mean, she did come to Fox News. She offered to do the Fox News debate. He backed out of it. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad she answers his questions. That's what she's been doing. But I do think that Donald Trump in that rally even yesterday, again, puts out speakers that demean our fellow Americans. I mean, you know, Harris, I served in the military. Puerto Rican, people who live in Puerto Rico are American citizens. In fact, the people that live there per capita have more Medal of Honor recipients that served in our military are from Puerto Rico. They're from my home state of Pennsylvania, your home state. And so when you disparage fellow Americans, it's just wrong. It's just absolutely wrong.
They're trying to run away from this comment, and Fox, as a propaganda outlet like they are, is trying to clean it up. But it's the truth about their movement. It's the truth about who they are, and it's the truth about who Donald Trump has always been and who he always will be. And they know it is incredibly damaging. It's the reason that Donald Trump is lashing out at Fox, for a couple of reasons. But let's get into that in his unhinged Truth Social post. Trump took to Truth Social, writing, "Fox News spends far too much time promoting the Democrats, their surrogates, and their agenda. Today, I watched over and over again an angry and totally out of control Michelle Obama trying to save the dying campaign of Kamala Harris. I'm leading in Michigan by a lot because of great support from auto workers, Arab Americans, Jewish Americans, and all other patriots. But Fox refuses to put up those polls. Fox also plays more negative commercials and ads promoting the other side than is even imaginable. Our ads on Fox are always a big deal to negotiate. They want us to change and weaken our content, but we put them on CNN and MSDNC with no problems or changes. It's hard to believe I'm leading by so much. So clearly Donald Trump not very happy with the coverage of Michelle Obama's comments, her incredible speech over the weekend, not only a call to support Kamala Harris and her incredible agenda that is focused on moving us forward, but calling out Donald Trump's failed record of the past. And so I feel like because Donald Trump is so upset, we have to watch, I think, the clip from Michelle Obama that's being played on Fox the most that is driving him the craziest.
Remember how woefully unprepared he was? How he was sowing seeds of fear and confusion, endangering lives with his lies and ignorance, denigrating the doctors and scientists trying to help us. You want to talk about plans? Well, my husband left him a very detailed pandemic plan. And you know what he did? He ignored it. He had no clue how to get us out of that crisis. No ability to bring back the millions of jobs we lost so suddenly. No idea how to get our students back into school safely. No attempt to help stem the epidemic of loneliness and isolation that too many of our young people are still dealing with. And his failures had real costs. America lost 7 million more jobs during the COVID downturn than the European Union. Among wealthy nations, the United States had one of the highest COVID death rates. Again, all of this occurred with Trump in charge. And sadly, this was just the tragic exclamation point on his disastrous presidency. Installing judges and justices who have now stripped away our reproductive freedoms. Cracking down on protesters marching to protect their sons from being shot because of the color of their skin. Rolling back protections for LGBTQ Americans. Banning conspiracy theories, unleashing hatred in our communities. And then, when the American people fired him from a job that was too big for him to begin with, he tried to steal it, egging on a violent mob that breached our nation's capital. And when told that his own vice president was in danger, you know what he said? So what? So what, y'all? He said, so what? And after all of that, and there is more, there are still folks wringing their hands, crossing their arms, tuning out, saying they plan to sit this election out to prove a point? Well, let me tell you who isn't tuning out. Many of the folks who served closest to Trump and saw the danger firsthand. His former vice president, almost half of his former cabinet members, the growing list of 4-star generals and Republican governors and senators and former House members, all of whom are not publicly supporting his candidacy the second time around. Y'all hear what I said? They are saying no, thank you. Many are speaking out. His chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, for example, said, and these are his words, that Trump is fascist to the core. His Joint Chief of Staff. These folks know that nothing this man says or does is funny in any way. So I hope you'll forgive me if I'm a little frustrated that some of us are choosing to ignore Donald Trump's gross incompetence while asking Kamala to dazzle us at every turn. I hope that you'll forgive me if I'm a little angry that we are indifferent to his erratic behavior, his obvious mental decline, his history as a convicted felon, a known slumlord, a predator found liable for sexual abuse, all of this, while we pick apart Kamala's answers from interviews that he doesn't even have the courage to do, y'all.
I cannot be the only one who wants to see Michelle Obama out on the campaign trail with Kamala Harris. We need it. What an incredible surrogate, what an incredible speaker, what an incredible messenger for moving us forward and talking about Donald Trump's failures. They just sound better. I don't say they sound good, but man, can Michelle Obama deliver that message of taking down Donald Trump? And clearly, he's not very happy with it. It's going after Fox. Oh man, I love that civil war between MAGA. Always makes me happy. And again, it's because they cannot clean up Donald Trump's mess. The decisions to have those speakers at his rally, and of course the just larger, gross, disgusting nature of their movement, something that you can't defend. It is the indefensible. And J.D. Vance did his best to try to get out of it in this clip right here.
Now, I've heard about the joke. I haven't actually seen the joke that you mentioned, but I think that it's telling that Kamala Harris's closing message is essentially that all of Donald Trump's voters are Nazis, and you should get really pissed off about a comedian telling a joke. That is not the message of a winning campaign. And most importantly, it's not the message of a person who's fit to be the president of the United States of America. And my own view on this is, look, again, I haven't seen the joke. Maybe it's a stupid racist joke, as you said. Maybe it's not. I haven't seen it. I'm not going to comment on the specifics of the joke. But I think that we have to stop getting so offended at every little thing in the United States of America. I'm so over it.
J.D. Vance was at Madison Square Garden. And I think the joke, but then quotes always, was told only a couple of minutes before he took the stage. He definitely heard it. And also, JD, it's become the most important news story of the past 12 hours, 24 hours almost. And you haven't heard it? Really? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to buy that. And also, can we bring up the fact with J.D. Vance that he's always saying, oh, the liberals, they want to say Trump is Hitler. Do you remember when you said Trump would be America's Hitler? You've made that comparison more than we have, J.D. And of course, you're not making it anymore because you are willing to follow orders, give up your morals, if you ever had them, to pursue power. And that says everything we need to know about you and everything we're going to call out about you every single day. And if you want to support that, the work we're doing on the show, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You'll leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.